Star Wars Zero Company releases soon, and I wanted to go over all the characters and lore information we have before release. The turn-based strategy game will have you commanding the galaxy's finest in tactical operations, investigations, and various other missions through a cinematic original story set in the Clone Wars era. And every good story has a good cast of characters, so let's meet the main members of Zero Company. The leader of Zero Company is Hawks, who was once a captain in the Grand Army of the Republic, and one of his clone troopers, CT-3301, Trick, who served with Hawks and now serves him in Zero Company. And then there is the Jedi Padawan, Talray Vukas, who joined Zero Company to bring honor and legacy to her late Jedi Master. And then we have Clyde Covero, who is the last surviving member of the ancient clan Vermont, and she joined Zero Company purely to further her implications in her quest for revenge. And then there is Lugo Bronk, and although he has no love for the Republic, he defended his homeworld of Umbara during the Republic invasion, but Lugo is willing to set aside his differences to work with Zero Company. And these 5 characters make up what is known as Zero Company, but there are plenty of other characters confirmed to be working for and against the main characters, like Runa Blask, who is the former analyst of the banking clan, who now runs the finances for Zero Company. And then there is Nish Renark, who keeps the base of operations going with the armory inside of a defunct bulk freighter that Zero Company calls home. And then of course there is the droid M3VO, or Nevo. The medical evacuation droids were capable of piloting and repairing a ship while being able to tend to wounds on the battlefield. And Nevo once served the Republic but is retired to Zero Company, and he is the main pilot of their ship, the Kazian. We also have Cabney Uppercut, who is a veteran crook and former prize fighter, who now ends up working with Zero Company, and I'm sure he's got a lot of fun stories to tell. There's also Jay Mordaunt, who once owned a mining citadel on Lanuda, and until the Infinite Coil took over her planet for the Separatists, she ruled as the Ore Baroness on the planet, so she ends up working with Zero Company as a victim of circumstance. And in terms of the side of the Republic, there is a young intelligence officer. Bannock Halorn keeps a watchful eye on the separatist group, the Infinite Coil, who appears to be one of the main enemy factions in the game. And they are a separatist group that are infected with a shadow plague in the hopes of gaining unnatural abilities, like the leader of the Infinite Coil, Kundry Fathom, who is a potential Force user but could be a overall charlatan. But we also get to see other members of the Infinite Coil, like Vizier, who was a trusted lieutenant of Kundry, and he was tactical but a honorable member of the Infinite Coil. And we also get new droid commanders from the Separatists, like Typhon, who commands armies and fleets of battle droids and is now in alliance with the Infinite Coil. So those are kind of the characters and enemy factions that we have in the game, or at least so far what is confirmed. Or at least so far the named characters that we're going to see in Zero Company that I presume make up the story, and I'm sure there's going to be a number of other characters, like I'm pretty sure we've already seen Anakin Skywalker, but in the game overall, as you have different operators, they are going to be different species from all over the galaxy. And because it is set in the Clone Wars era, we are also going all across the Clone Wars and its different battles. So far there are a confirmed 50 planets that we are going to be visiting, or there's at least one operation that we're going to be doing on that planet, with more confirmed on the way as well. And of course, Zero Company has to travel on a ship, and their starship was known as the Kazian, which they used to travel between their covert operations during the Clone Wars, and it was piloted by their droid Mevo. So definitely cool and interesting information, and I'm sure as we play the game the story will come along, and I'm definitely interested in this Infinite Coil separatist group. But on the overall, it seems like there's going to be a lot of stories from the Clone Wars being told in this game, with already a large cast of main characters with more on the way. There are also 8 different classes our operators will be able to assume, and that is Assault, Gunslinger, Heavy, Medic, Scoundrel, Scout, Sharpshooter, and Soldier. So with the 8 different classes that we have, there is a lot of variability. There certainly are going to be a lot of fun aspects of the Star Wars universe that we're going to get to explore in Zero Company, and the game looks overall great and fun, and I'm looking forward to when it comes out in late August. So with that is all of the lore information we know about Star Wars Zero Company. With 50 plus planets and a wide cast of characters, I certainly am interested to see this game come to light. Subscribe if you'd like, comment down below, and until next video, goodbye.